Have you ever felt like you're spinning your wheels in life, trying everything but going nowhere? I've been there. It's frustrating, demoralizing, and exhausting, but then something shifted. There was a moment when I realized that everything I was doing was either sabotaging my progress or misaligned with what truly mattered. Today, I want to share 5 lessons I learned in my 20s that changed the game for me. These lessons aren't just advice, they're practical, actionable insights that can help you move forward, especially if you're feeling stuck. In my 20s, I learned one of the most profound lessons of my life. Chasing after things, whether it was success, relationships, or validation, only left me feeling drained, directionless, and perpetually unsatisfied. The truth is, chasing puts you in a reactive state, always trying to catch up, always seeking approval, and always letting external circumstances dictate your path. Building, on the other hand, puts you in control. When you shift your focus from chasing to building, you're no longer a passive participant in your life's story. You become the architect, laying down the foundation brick by brick, skill by skill, day by day. Building means creating value, not just for others but also for yourself. It's about cultivating skills, strengthening your mindset, and focusing on things that grow over time. For example, instead of chasing recognition in your career, focus on becoming undeniably good at your craft. Master your skills, take on challenges, and let your work speak for itself. Recognition will naturally follow, but by then, you'll have something far more important, a sense of pride and confidence that no external approval can take away. The same principle applies to relationships. Instead of chasing someone's attention or affection, work on becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts meaningful connections. Build your character, develop empathy, and cultivate a life so rich and fulfilling that others are drawn to you not because of what you want from them, but because of the energy and value you bring into their lives. This shift from chasing to building also transview time. When you're chasing, time feels like an enemy, a relentless force pushing you to achieve everything now. But when you're building, time becomes an ally. You begin to appreciate the process, understanding that growth and success are cumulative and that each small step contributes to a larger picture. Building requires patience and consistency, but the rewards are worth it. Over time, the overbuilt, whether it's a skill set, a business, a strong body, or a meaningful relationship, become and support you. Another benefit of focusing on building is the resilience it fosters. When you're chasing, setbacks feel like failures, if the door to your dreams has been slammed shut. But when you're building, setbacks are just part of the process. A builder knows that not every brick will lay perfectly, that there will be days when the weather doesn't or when the materials fall short. But a builder also knows how to adapt, how to keep going, and how to see the bigger picture. This mindset not only helps you recover from setbacks, but also strengthens your ability to handle challenges with grace and determination. Building also teaches you to focus on what truly matters. When you're chasing, it's easy to get distracted by shiny objects or superficial goals. You might chase a job title because it sounds prestigious, a relationship because it looks good on the surface, or a lifestyle because it's what society says you should want. But when you're building, you learn to align your actions with your values and long-term vision. You become less concerned with what others think and more focused on what brings you fulfillment and joy. For example, instead of chasing money for the sake of appearances, you might focus on building financial stability, pursue your passions, and support the people you care about. This shift in perspective not only leads but also to a deeper sense of purpose and satisfaction. One of the most empowering aspects of building is the sense of ownership it gives you. When you chase, you're often at the mercy of external forces, people's opinions, market trends, or circumstances beyond your control. But when you build, you take ownership of your journey. You may not be able to control every outcome, but you can control the effort and intention you bring to the process. This sense of agency is incredibly liberating because it reminds you that you have the power to create the life you want, no matter where you start or what challenges you face. Building also cultivates gratitude and appreciation for the journey. When you chase, the focus is always on the next thing, the next milestone, the next validation. But when you build, you learn to appreciate the progress you've made, the skills you've developed, and the lessons you've learned along the way. This gratitude not only enhances your happiness, also fuels your motivation to keep going. It's a positive feedback loop that makes the process of growth and improvement enjoyable in its own right, rather than just a means to an end. One of the biggest misconceptions about building is it's slow or unglamorous compared to chasing. But the truth is, a building often leads to faster and more suitable because it's rooted in substance rather than superficiality. When you chase, you're always starting from zero, always scrambling to catch up. But when you build, your efforts compound over time, creating a strong foundation that supports your growth. For example, an entrepreneur who focuses on building a loyal customer base through quality products and authentic relationships will achieve long-term success, while one who chases quick profits through gimmick shortcuts will eventually burn out. The same principle applies to personal growth. Someone who builds healthy habits like regular exercise or continuous learning will see lasting benefits that far outweigh the fleeting highs of chasing instant gratification. In the end, the choice between chasing and building is a choice between scarcity and abundance. Chasing comes from a place of scarcity, the fear that you're not enough, that there's not enough time, or that you'll miss if you don't keep running. Building, on the other hand, comes from a place of abundance, the belief that you have the power to create, grow, and attract what you need. It's a mindset that focuses on what you can give rather than what you can get, on what you can create rather than what you can consume. This shift not only changes how you approach goals, but also transforms how you see yourself and the world around you. So if you're tired of chasing, of feeling like you're always one step behind or one step away, take a step back and ask yourself, what can I build? What skills, habits, or relationships can I cultivate that will bring lasting value to my life? Remember, chasing might get you a fleeting taste of success, but building creates a legacy. And the best part, you can start building today, right where you are, with whatever you have. Because in the end, it's sometimes not about how fast you run or how far you go, it's about what you create along the way. Discipline beats motivation every time because a motivation is fleeting and unpredictable. Discipline is the steady force that carries you the ups and downs of life, ensuring that you stay on track even in your enthusiasm fades. Motivation often strikes in bursts. You watch an inspiring video, read an uplifting quote, or feel a surge of energy to tackle your goals. But what happens when that initial excitement wears off? That's where discipline steps in. Discipline is the habit of showing up and doing the work, no matter how you feel. It's what separates dream from those who achieve. In my 20s, I learned the hard way that relying on motivation alone was a recipe for inconsistency and frustration. I'd start projects with excitement, only to abandon them when the effort became ming or the novelty wore off. Here will be days when you slip up, miss a workout, or give in to temptation, and that's okay. Discipline isn't about never making mistakes. It's about getting back on track as quickly as possible. Or missed day doesn't define you, but letting that one day turn into a week or a month can derail your progress. The key is to adopt a mindset of resilience and focus on the bigger picture. Every time you recommit to your goals after a setback, you strengthen your discipline muscle, making it easier to stay consistent in the future. Discipline also teaches you the value of delayed gratification, which is a crucial skill for achieving long-term success. In a world that constantly tempts us with instant rewards, fast food, social media likes, binge-worthy TV shows, it's easy to prioritize short-term pleasure over long-term goals. But discipline helps you resist these temptations and stay focused on what truly matters. For example, Choosing to save money instead of spending it impulsively might not feel rewarding in the moment, but over time, it leads to financial freedom and security. Similarly, choosing to study for an exam porting might feel restrictive now, but it sets you up for success in your career. The ability to delay gratification is a superpower in a world that thrives on distractions, and discipline is the tool that helps you cultivate it. One of the biggest misconceptions about discipline is that it's rigid or joyless, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Discipline actually creates freedom because it allows you to take control of your life and make intentional choices that align with your values and goals. When you're disciplined, you're not at the mercy of emotions, impulses, or external circumstances. You're in the driver's seat, steering your life in the direction you wore. This sense of control is deeply empowering and leads to greater happiness and fulfillment. Discipline also has a ripple effect in the areas of your life in positive ways. When you develop discipline in one area, such as exercise, it often spills over into other areas, like your diet, sleep habits, or work ethic. This is because discipline is a skill that grows stronger with practice. The more you exercise it, the easier it becomes to apply it to different aspects of your life. For example, someone who commits to a daily workout routine might find it easier to stay organized at work or resist unhealthy food choices because they've developed the habit of making intentional decisions. This ripple effect creates a virtuous cycle where each act of discipline reinforces the next. Another important aspect of discipline is you build resilience and mental toughness. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable, but discipline gives you the tools to navigate these obstacles with strength and determination. When you're disciplined, you're less likely to be derailed by setbacks as you develop the habit of showing up and putting in the effort, no matter what. This resilience not only helps you achieve your goals, but also improves your overall well-being as you're better equipped to handle stress and adversity. One of the best ways to cultivate discipline is to small and build gradually. Trying to overhaul your entire life overnight is overwhelming and unsustainable. Instead, focus on one or two key habits that align with your goals and commit to them consistently. For example, if your goal is to improve your health, start by drinking more water each day or going for an 11-minute walk. Once these habits become second nature, you can build on them by adding more challenging goals, like meal prepping or strength training. This not only makes discipline more manageable, but also increases your chances of long-term success. Another strategy for building discipline is to create an environment that supports your goals. For example, if you're trying to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nutritious foods and remove junk food from your home. If you're trying to stay focused at work, eliminate distractions by turning off notifications or creating a dedicated workspace. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your behavior, so setting yourself up for success can make it less like a struggle and more like a natural part of your routine. Accountability is another powerful tool for the discipline. When you share your goals with someone you trust or join a community of like-minded individuals, you create a support system that encourages you to stay on track. Knowing that someone else is counting on you provides the extra motivation you need to follow through, especially on days when your willpower is low. Whether it's a workout buddy, a mentor, or an online group, having accountability can make a significant difference in your ability to stay disciplined. In the end, discipline is not about being rigid, it's about making consistent progress toward your goals and showing up for yourself every day. It's about taking control of your life and refusing to let temporary emotions or external circumstances dictate your actions. While motivation may come and go, discipline is the steady force that keeps you moving forward no matter what. By cultivating discipline, you not only achieve your goals, but also develop the resilience, confidence, and self-mastery needed to thrive in every area of your life. It's a skill that pays dividends over time, creating a foundation for success, fulfillment, and personal growth. So, if you want to achieve something meaningful, don't wait for motivation to strike. Start applying today and watch how it transforms your life. Failures aren't the end, they're the beginning. And this is one of the most liberating truths you'll embrace in your life. So often failure is seen as a dead end, a sign that you're not good enough, not talented enough, or that you're on the wrong path. But in reality, failure is one of the most valuable teachers you will ever encounter, providing lessons, insights, and opportunities for growth that simply cannot deliver. Failure challenges you to look at your approach, rethink your strategies, and identify where things went wrong so you can move forward with greater clarity and determination. When you fail, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by disappointment or self-doubt, but the key is to shift your perspective and see failure for what it truly is: a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. It's natural to worry about what others will think when you fail, but the truth is, most people are too focused on their own struggles to dwell on yours. And even if they do judge, their opinions have no bearing on your worth or your ability to succeed. In fact, embracing failure can be a powerful way to silence those fears because it shows you that failure is survivable. Each time you pick yourself up after a setback, you prove to yourself that you're stronger and more resilient than you thought. Another important aspect of failure is that it helps you develop grit, the combination of passion and perseverance that enables you to keep pushing forward even when the going gets tough. Grit is not something you're born with, it's something you build through experience, and failure is one of the best ways to cultivate it. When you face challenges, setbacks, or outright failures and choose to keep going anyway, you're strengthening your capacity to endure and succeed in the face of adversity. This resilience is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up at the first sign of difficulty. Failure also clarifies your priorities and goals. Sometimes, failing at something forces you to ask yourself, is this really what I want? If the answer is yes, failure can reignite your determination and push you to work even harder. If the answer is no, it can serve as a valuable redirection, steering you towards something that aligns more closely with your true passions and values. In this way, failure acts as a compass, helping you navigate the complexities of life and find your way to what truly matters. One of the most overlooked benefits of failure is the opportunity it provides to connect with others. Failure is a universal experience, one that everyone can relate to on some level. When you share your struggles and setbacks, you create space for empathy, understanding, and support. You'll often find that others are more willing to help or offer advice than you expected because they've been there too. This sense of connection not only eases the sting of failure, but also reminds you that you're not alone on your journey. Failure also teaches you to let go of perfectionism, which can be one of the biggest obstacles to growth and success. When you're obsessed with doing everything perfectly, you're less likely to take risks or try new things because you're afraid of making mistakes. But failure shows you that mistakes are not the end of the world. They're simply part of the process. This realization frees you from the paralyzing grip of perfectionism and encourages you to take bold, imperfect action, knowing that even if you stumble, you can still make progress. Moreover, failure is a reminder that success is not a straight line. The path to achieving your goals is rarely smooth or predictable. It's filled with twists, turns, and detours. Each failure you encounter is a part of that journey, and each one brings you closer to your destination, as long as you're willing to keep moving forward. In fact, many of the greatest breakthroughs and innovations in history were born out of failure. From scientific discoveries to artistic masterpieces, failure has often been the catalyst for creativity and ingenuity. When you embrace failure as a natural part of the process, you open yourself up to new possibilities and ideas that you might never have considered otherwise. To fully harness the power of failure, it's important to approach it with a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. With a growth mindset, failure becomes an opportunity to improve rather than a reflection of your worth. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" By reframing failure in this way, you shift your focus from the problem to the solution, which empowers you to take constructive action. Finally, failure teaches you to appreciate success when it comes. The victories that follow hard-fought battles are often the sweetest because they're earned through perseverance, sacrifice, and resilience. When you've experienced the lows of failure, you're more likely to savor the highs of success and feel a deep sense of gratitude for the journey that brought you there. In this way, failure enriches your life by giving you a greater appreciation for the value of hard work, determination, and personal growth. So, the next time you face a setback, remember that failures aren't the end, they're the beginning. Each failure is an invitation to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. It's a chance to prove to yourself that you're capable of overcoming challenges and achieving greatness. Embrace failure as a necessary and valuable part of your journey, and you'll find that it's not a barrier to success, but a bridge that leads you there. Your circle determines your path, and the people you surround yourself with have an unparalleled influence on your mindset, decisions, and ultimately, your destiny. It took me a long time to understand just how deeply my environment was shaping my outcomes. In my early 20s, I didn't pay much attention to the company I kept, thinking it was enough to focus on my own goals and ambitions. But I began to notice a pattern when I spent time around people who were complacent, negative, or unmotivated. My own energy and drive seemed to drain away. Their pessimism became contagious. Their lack of ambition made it easier to justify my own procrastination, and their excuses started to sound a lot like my own. Conversely, when I found myself around people who were driven, positive, and focused on growth, everything in my life seemed to improve. I became more motivated, more disciplined, and more willing to take risks. This realization was a game changer because it taught me that the people in your life can either lift you up or hold you back, and the choice of who you allow into your inner circle is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. The people you spend the most time with shape your beliefs about what's possible, either expanding or limiting your vision for your life. If you're surrounded by people who constantly complain, blame others, or settle for mediocrity, it's easy to adopt those same behaviors and attitudes. Over time, their mindset becomes your mindset, often without you even realizing it. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who push themselves, pursue excellence, and refuse to settle, they inspire you to do the same. Their success becomes proof that you can achieve your own goals, and their energy propels you forward even on days when your motivation wanes. One of the most profound lessons I learned is that your circle is not just about who you spend time with, but also about the values and standards you allow to influence you. For instance, if you're in a group of friends where a gossip, procrastinate, or avoid responsibility, those behaviors start to feel acceptable, even if they're holding you back. But if you're in a group where the norm is to work hard, support one another, and celebrate each other's successes, you naturally rise to meet those higher standards. This is why it's so important to audit your circle regularly and ask yourself whether the people in your life are helping you grow or keeping you stagnant. It's not about judging or blaming others, but recognizing the impact they have on you and making intentional choices about who you allow into your space. One of the biggest challenges in reshaping your circle is the fear of letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. It's not easy to distance yourself from family members who have been a part of your life for years, but sometimes it's necessary for your growth. This doesn't mean cutting people off harshly or without compassion. It means setting boundaries and prioritizing relationships that align with your values and goals. For example, if you have a friend who constantly dismisses or brings negativity into every conversation, you can choose to spend less time with them while seeking out connections with people who uplift and inspire you. It's important to remember that letting go of toxic relationships creates space for healthier, more supportive ones to enter your life. Another key aspect of building a strong circle is seeking out mentors and role models who can guide and inspire you. These are the people who have already achieved what you're striving for and can offer valuable insights, advice, and encouragement. Mentors don't have to be formal. They can be colleagues, friends, or even authors, speakers, or thought leaders whose work resonates with you. The important thing is to surround yourself of what's possible, so you can learn from their experiences and apply those lessons to your own journey. In addition to mentors, it's equally important to build a circle of peers who are on a similar path. These are the people who understand your struggles, share your aspirations, and can offer support and accountability as you work toward your goals. Having a strong peer group creates a sense of camaraderie and motivation because you're all striving for growth together. Whether it's a mastermind group, a fitness community, or a network of professionals in your field, finding your tribe can make all the difference in your journey. One of the most surprising things I discovered about your circle is that it's not just about who you know, but also about who you choose to listen to. In today's digital age, we're constantly bombarded with opinions, advice, and influences from social media, news outlets, and online communities. If you're not careful, these voices can become part of your circle, shaping your mindset and priorities in ways that might not align with your goals. That's why it's crucial to curate your inputs carefully, choosing to follow people, pages, and platforms that inspire, educate, and empower you rather than those that drain your energy or feed into negativity. By consciously managing your digital circle, you can create an environment that supports your growth and keeps you focused on what matters most. Building a supportive circle also requires you to be the kind of person you want to attract. If you want to be surrounded by ambitious, positive, and growth-oriented people, you need to embody those qualities yourself. This means being intentional about your actions, your attitude, and the energy you bring into your relationships. Are you showing up as someone who encourages and supports others, or are you bringing negativity and complacency into your interactions? The more you strive to be the best version of yourself, the more you'll attract like-minded individuals who share your values and vision. One of the most rewarding aspects of cultivating a strong circle is the sense of connection and belonging it creates. When you're surrounded by people who truly understand and support you, it's easier to face challenges, take risks, and pursue your dreams with confidence. Your circle becomes a source of strength and inspiration, reminding you that you're not alone on your journey. This sense of community is not only uplifting but also deeply motivating because it reinforces the idea that success is not a solo endeavor. It's something we achieve together. Ultimately, your circle determines your path because the people you surround yourself with shape your mindset, your habits, and your trajectory in life. Action trumps overthinking because while overthinking keeps you trapped in a cycle of doubt, fear, and indecision, action is the only thing that creates momentum and leads to results. Overthinking often masquerades as preparation or caution, convincing you that you need more time, more information, or more clarity before you can begin. But in reality, overthinking is a form of procrastination that robs you of opportunities and keeps you stuck in the same place. The longer you spend analyzing every possible outcome, the harder it becomes to take that first step, and the more likely you are to talk yourself out of taking action altogether. On the other hand, action breaks the cycle of overthinking by shifting your focus from endless possibilities to tangible progress. The beauty of action is that it doesn't have to be perfect or even fully planned, it just needs to be taken. When you act, you gain real-world experience and feedback that no amount of overthinking could ever provide. You learn what works, what doesn't, and how to adjust your approach moving forward. This iterative process not only brings you closer to your goals, but also builds confidence and clarity, making it easier to keep moving forward. In my own life, I've seen countless examples of how overthinking held me back and how action propelled me forward. There were times when I spent weeks or even months obsessing over decisions, weighing every option, and imagining every worst-case scenario. only to realize later that all that thinking didn't bring me any closer to a solution, but the moments when I decided to stop overthinking and simply take a step, even if it was a small or uncertain one, were the moments when I made real progress. Whether it was applying for a job, starting a new project, or reaching out to someone I admired, taking action always provided more clarity and growth than overthinking ever could. One of the reasons overthinking is so paralyzing is that it amplifies your fears and insecurities. The more you dwell on a decision, the more you focus on what could go wrong instead of what could go right. You start to question your abilities, worry about how others will perceive you, and convince yourself that failure is inevitable. This fear-based thinking creates a mental fog that makes even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. But when you take action, you cut through that fog and prove to yourself that your fears are often unfounded. Even if things don't go as planned, you discover that failure is not the catastrophe you imagined. It's a stepping stone to growth and learning. Action helps you confront your fears and build resilience, which is essential for achieving anything meaningful in life. Another reason action is so powerful is that it creates momentum. The first step is always the hardest because it requires you to overcome inertia and push past your doubts. But once you've taken that initial step, the next one becomes easier, and the one after that easier still. Momentum is a powerful force that turns small, consistent actions into significant progress over time. For example, if you've been putting off starting a fitness routine, the hardest part might be lacing up your sneakers and getting to the gym. But once you're there, the act of working out becomes more manageable, and the sense of accomplishment you feel afterward motivates you to go back again. This principle applies to every area of life, from building a business to pursuing personal growth. The more you act, the more you build momentum, and the easier it becomes to keep moving forward. Action also provides clarity, which is something overthinking can never do. When you're stuck in your head, it's impossible to know for sure how things will play out because you're basing your assumptions on hypothetical scenarios. But when you take action, you get real-world data that helps you make better decisions. For instance, if you're debating whether to sue, you can spend months researching, planning, and analyzing, or you can take the first step by offering your services to a small group of people and seeing how they respond. The feedback you receive from taking action will teach you more in a week than overthinking could teach you in a year. Clarity comes from doing, not from thinking. And the sooner you act, the sooner you'll gain the insights you need to move forward. One of the most liberating aspects of taking action is that it frees you from the need for perfection. Overthinking often stems from a desire to get everything right on the first try, but this perfectionism is both unrealistic and counterproductive. No one succeeds without making mistakes, and no plan is flawless from the start. By taking action, you give yourself permission to be imperfect and to learn as you go. This mindset shift not only reduces the pressure you feel, but also encourages experimentation and creativity. Instead of worrying about whether your idea is perfect, you focus on testing it, refining it, and improving it over time. This iterative approach is how progress is made and how great achievements are ultimately realized. Taking action also builds confidence, which is something overthinking tends to erode. When you're caught in a cycle of overthinking, you start to doubt yourself and your abilities, which makes it even harder to act. But when you take action, you prove to yourself that you are capable and resourceful. Each small win, no matter how minor, reinforces your belief in your ability to handle the edges and achieve your goals. Over time, this growing confidence becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. The more you act, the more confident you become, and the more confident you are, the more willing you are to take action. This positive feedback loop is one of the most tools for personal and professional growth. Another benefit of action is that it creates opportunities. When you're stuck in your head, you're not engaging with the world, which means you're missing out on potential connections, experiences, and chances to grow. But when you take action, you open yourself up to new possibilities that you might not have even considered. For example, reaching out to someone you admire could lead to a mentorship or a collaboration. Applying for a job you're unsure about could lead to an unexpected career opportunity, or trying a new hobby could introduce you to a passion you never knew you had. These opportunities don't arise from overthinking, they arise from doing. In the end, action trumps overthinking because it's the only way to turn your ideas, dreams, and plans into reality. Overthinking keeps you stuck in a loop of doubt and fear, while action breaks that loop and propels you forward. It's not about being fearless or having all the answers. It's about being willing to take the first step and trusting that you'll figure things out along the way. The path to success is rarely linear or predictable, but it's paved with action, not with endless deliberation. So, the next time you find yourself overthinking, remember that clarity, confidence, and momentum come from doing, not from thinking. Take the first step, no matter how small, and trust that the act of moving forward will bring you closer to where you want to be. Action is the antidote to overthinking, and it's the key to unlocking your full potential.